Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Divergent discussion. I'm Michelle Ridsdale and I'm the founder of Caboose. We are an inclusive and safe online community for neurodivergent people to connect, learn, and thrive. We are built by neurodivergent people for neurodivergent people. And just a reminder, we are recording for those people who can't make it. And welcome to those who are joining us live. You'll see there is a chat function that you can drop your questions into, so we will have plenty of time towards the end to answer questions. So pop those in there. Today, we're welcoming Kelli Fisher. So I'll introduce Kelli now. Kelli is a 36-year-old autistic and ADHD adult who's passionate about creativity, advocacy, and inclusion. Kelli was diagnosed with autism at the age of 14, and growing up wasn't easy. People doubted whether Kelli would ever get her license or a degree, but she proved them wrong. But still, it's a struggle to land steady jobs. But we're going to hear a lot about Kelli's story shortly. Kelli is now the full-time social media manager for Spectrum Designs and Spectrum Suds, which I just heard about, where she gets to do what she loves every day. She makes fun and engaging content. She's able to share their mission and show the world what an inclusive workplace really looks like. Along the way, Kelli also uses her platform to advocate and educate others about autism and neurodiversity. We are very grateful Kelli is sharing this time with us. It's her evening in the US, so very appreciative of that. So thank you. So yeah, maybe you could start with telling us a little bit about yourself and your journey so far.
So as you said, I'm Kelly, and I'm the social media manager for Spectrum Designs. And my journey wasn't always easy. I was told I wouldn't get my license or succeed in college. I didn't really have friends when I was in school, but eventually I got my degree, and then the hard part was getting jobs. So I struggled getting jobs, and then eventually on one job interview, the manager told me he couldn't hire me because I didn't make eye contact, and that really upset me, and it really stuck with me. And then eventually
Mm.
I had several part-time jobs, but I didn't really feel fulfilled. And then one day I was out in networking event and I met one of the co-founders of Spectrum, which I was introduced to about like 6 or 7 years ago. And uh, then eventually I got hired there. I started there part-time as a production assistant. And then eventually through a few promotions, now I'm running the social media and it's awesome.
Amazing. Well, that's a very cool summary. Thank you for sharing that with
Mhm.
us. Tell us more about, I guess that sort of those younger years. I know when you and I first met, you sort of mentioned this in our call. Like you were diagnosed at 14. Maybe tell us a little bit about the lead up to that and then I guess those feelings of, um, people doubting you at that time and how it did it impact you.
So I was always like shy and quiet as a kid and I didn't really like cause much trouble. I wasn't into like sports or anything. And then when I went to middle school, my mom noticed I wasn't as socially developed as others and she noticed other signs. So eventually I started getting tested and then eventually I was diagnosed on the autism spectrum, but I was never in like special ed or anything. I just went to private Catholic school. So I was in the same classes as everyone else. But I was diagnosed when I was 14, but I didn't really understand it until I was an adult. So I knew I was different because I didn't have friends, I was, like, shy and quiet,
Mm.
but I didn't really understand it until I was an adult, and so, yes, and then so people doubted me that I wouldn't succeed at getting my license or going to school because I was
Mm.
just so shy, quiet, and reserved, and they just
Mm.
had doubts, some of my doctors, but
Yeah, right.
because of my awesome parents and all the my family, I was able to succeed, and now I'm living life
Yeah,
and it's
you're
pretty
doing
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's so common, isn't it, that, as a neurodivergent person, we're always sort of looking at that deficit and
Mhm.
And that's where we need to sort of shift, I suppose, the awareness and the dialogue to more strengths based. And
Yeah.
I wonder for you, like obviously being told this maybe or hearing it through the medical
Mhm.
profession, what do you think was the turning point? What sort of made you, I guess, push harder or to prove people wrong? Like, was it something
I
in
think
particular?
my
Or-
mom was a very big support because I did eventually get my license, but I failed my road test twice. And I probably would have given up if my mom didn't encourage me and push me. And
Mm,
that's not easy getting taking your road test in New York because it's hard to get
no,
appointments. So my
yes. I
mom,
know the
I
traffic must be terrible.
I remember she looked for any appointments in New York State, and New York State is
Mm,
pretty big. So she drove me all across New York State, so I eventually passed my road test. And so I feel like my mom is a big part of it because she always encouraged me and pushed me, and she knew what I was capable of. And then just knowing I could be way more independent, having my license, I think that helped me. And of course, you want to prove people wrong. Is when people say you can't do something, always makes you want to do it more.
yes, that is very true. I know many of my children's friends have had a couple of failed attempts at their driver's test as well. So I suspect that, like it is part of, our journey into getting our license. But it's great that your mum supported
Yeah.
you to keep
And it's
keep
funny
going.
when you talk about it, a lot of people say they don't pass it on the first time, but most people don't say that. So it's just
They
funny.
don't,
It's
do
like
they?
it's more normal
Yeah.
when you talk about it. They're like, "Oh yeah, I took mine a few times."
Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah. Whether you're
Yeah.
neurodivergent or not, but still
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
when you're coming from, I suppose, that deficit,
Yeah.
place where people are constantly talking about the things that are going wrong, it's hard to reframe.
Yeah.
So tell us a bit more about Spectrum Design. So I know you said you had a few jobs before that and then you met the co-founder, but tell me a bit more about what they do and how you came across them.
All right, so Spectrum Designs is a custom apparel and promotional products company that employs autistic adults. So I think it's 73% of our employees are on the autism spectrum. And what we do is we make custom apparel and merch for all different types of companies, whether it be like Google, J. Crew, Uber, like mom and pop shops, restaurants,
Yeah, great. Yeah.
events. And so we do embroidery, screen printing, direct to garment, direct to film, and we can do any promotional products. So, and all the work that we do, we're a nonprofit, goes 100% back into the mission of employing more autistic adults. And Spectrum Design is great because we have autistic people at all levels of our company. So
Mm.
it's really a neurodiverse company. Some people work 4 hours a week, some people work 40 hours a week, some people work full time. So it's like they work with people and what they need. And some of our staff have job coaches. We have people with one-on-one support,
Okay.
some with 3-to-1 support. And even if you don't have support, our chief of staff is a licensed social worker. So there's always support there, even if you're not a neurodivergent.
Okay, amazing. That's great. And
Yeah.
you said, so how did you come across them? You met someone somewhere? Is that what you
Yeah, I met Patrick at a networking event and he thought I would be a good fit. And then eventually I checked it out and then it was great. And I actually started out at Spectrum Suds, which is our laundry business, as a
Yeah, right.
production assistant. I had some retail experience, so I like had experience with clothes and I worked at Spectrum Suds, but I didn't really love doing the laundry part of it wasn't really that exciting for me, but I
No.
love but I loved working with the autistic adults and like I loved being a positive impact for them and love working with them. And then
Yeah.
eventually they gave the social media manager at Spectrum a promotion and they needed to fill the role. And in the past, none of their social media managers were autistic themselves. So they decided to give me an opportunity, even though I didn't have social media experience professionally. But the CEO loved my personal social media. So he thought it would be a good fit. and so they took a chance on me, and it paid off for
So
them because now every Spectrum is doing well. We've been on the Kelly Collection Show, so it's, pretty awesome, and a great thing about Spectrum is they like to promote from within. So,
mm,
for example, my friend Brandon that works at Spectrum, he started out as an operations assistant, then he got promoted to decoration specialist, and now he's assistant operations manager, and he's not
wow.
on the Spectrum. So they give
Yeah,
everyone opportunities, and they like to grow from promote from within if they can. So that's
awesome.
another good thing about Spectrum.
Yeah, great. So as the social media person, it sounds like, they gave you a chance. Like, how did you know what to do? How did you sort of feel by, getting this opportunity?
Um, at first, I was nervous because, yes, I love social media and I'm on TikTok and Instagram 24/7, but I didn't really have the confidence that I would do well for the company. But I always gave them feedback. Like sometimes I would say, "Oh, why did they post this? Why did you do that? Like you should." So they liked my input, and they knew because I always want the company to grow because as an employee, you always want your job to do well. So I was always giving them ideas, so they thought I had the potential. So then
Yeah, awesome.
eventually I started, and at first it was nerve wracking, like having to edit videos and like make sure the
Yeah,
captions are right. But eventually now it's like so much easier and it's fun.
yeah. Talk me through it. Like, what's a typical day like for you as the social media manager? Or like, what do you do? When you arrive, like, or do you have a routine that you like to follow to
Yeah,
get to work?
so I drive to work and I usually get to work at 9 o'clock when we start, and then it's usually busy. The first thing I usually do is like check all the messages or comments on like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, for Spectrum Suds and Designs, and then I respond to them and see how all the posts are doing. And then usually I see if I have any emails, respond to emails, and then plan out what I want to film that day. Then I look on like social media for inspiration because it's fun to do trends sometimes if I can relate them to autism or work. A
Yeah,
lot of times
great.
trends are hard to relate to autism or work, but sometimes it's fun to do that or just like try to brainstorm different ideas. Like,
Yeah.
I know it's fun to think of different ideas of way to educate people about autism, because sometimes, like, there's so many stereotypes and people assume things. So it's fun
Mm,
to make fun videos about that, and then, like, also, I have to see what's being printed or made that day, because then I have to take
yeah.
pictures and videos, especially if it's
Cool.
like, if I know they're printing stuff for J. Crew, like, that's something I wanna get a lot of pictures and videos of, or just of, like,
Yeah.
something that's cool. It's cool to take picture and videos of. So, yeah,
Yeah.
there's so many different things I do. Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. Cool. And so one of your videos, well, I know when we first met, you told me about this viral video.
Mhm.
It ended up having 1,000,000 likes and 16,000 comments, I think. What do you think people liked about that post?
I think people just loved how, it showcased all the individuality of our employees, and people got to see the real spectrum and who we are and how diverse we are. And I just think it was great because you could see different people's personalities, and I just people just thought it was, like, fun that there's a
It
workplace
was
out
fun.
there, and
Yeah.
it's just amazing. I remember I made the video, and all our social media gets approved by, like, the executive team and a bunch of other people, and I remember I showed the video, and the CEO was like, "I don't really know if I love that video, but it's okay." And then I posted it, and, like, the first day I posted it, it was doing, like, normal how I posted on Instagram, and then it was, like, ramping up on TikTok, and then, like, 2 days later, it just started going, like, viral, and, like, it was, like, thousands of comments a second. It was, like, so crazy, and I used to always have all the notifications on 24/7 because we didn't really get that many notifications, but then eventually I had to, like, turn them off
Yeah.
after hours because I would be obsessively responding because I was like it was just so exciting, and then there was, like,
Yeah.
celebrities that liked it, like Jennifer
Oh, wow.
Garner liked it,
Oh,
Meghan
wow. That's so
Trainor.
cool.
so many
Wow.
celebrities saw it, and it's, like, really cool to know that celebrities saw it, and then eventually, the Kelly Clarkson show saw the video, and
Yes.
they reached out to us and asked if we'd be interested to be on it. So we were like, "Yeah, definitely." So we had to get on a call with
Right.
them. Then we had to make a pitch video why we wanna be on the show, and then, like, honestly, I forgot about that, and then a few months later, they called us and said, "Oh, can you and Patrick come and be on the show in 2 days?" Thankfully, it
Oh,
films
wow.
in New York, so it was easy. So then we
Yeah.
got to be on the Kelly Clarkson show, and that was amazing just 'cause of one video.
That's
It's incredible
that's
what can
ama
happen, just one post, you never know.
yeah, amazing. And so
Yeah,
tell us about this Kelly Clarkson show and then meeting some celebrities as well. Was that
yeah.
as part of the show or at a different time?
So when I we got me and Patrick were on the Kelly Clarkson show. Patrick is the CEO, by the way. When me and Patrick were on the Kelly Clarkson show, we obviously got to meet Kelly Clarkson, and that was cool. And Andy Cohen was the guest, so we got to meet him too. That was pretty
Yeah.
awesome. I don't know if you know him from Bravo,
Yeah, I've heard yeah,
but so we got to meet Kelly Clarkson, and she was super nice and down to earth, and it was actually really cool being on the show. And the show
yeah.
is very well done. They really prepared us, like, me and Patrick were very prepared, like, with what they were gonna ask us, how it was gonna be, and it was a really cool experience. And I've met other celebrities through Spectrum at, there's an event in the city. I think they've been doing it for at least the past 10 years. Next for Autism, which is a nonprofit that helps autistic adults. They do a comedy fundraiser in, New York City at the Beacon Theater called, The Night of Too Many Stars, and it's always hosted by Jon Stewart, and there's comedians there like, Adam Sandler, and any big name you can think of is usually there.
Wow.
So
Wow.
last year, since Next for Autism, are big fans of Spectrum and we print all the shirts for them, they asked if I would want to introduce, no, first they asked if I wanted to present with Jon Stewart on stage, and they were
Wow.
throwing T-shirts into the audience that we made. So
Oh, wow.
Jon Stewart introduced me, and then like 2 days before, they asked if I'd want to introduce Adam Sandler on the stage. So that was really cool because I got to
So
introduce him on
cool.
stage, and it's very nerve-wracking because 'cause I've never been on stage in front of, like, a live audience, but it's really cool. They have the teleprompters, and
Oh, wow.
Jon Stewart and Adam Sandler were the nicest people, and
Yeah,
so
right.
they were
Oh,
awesome.
wow. That's
So it's a
so
really cool
cool.
experience, and actually, Next for Autism just accepted me. I'm on their next gen board, so
Oh,
to help
wow.
them, so that's pretty cool. So,
That's
yeah,
very
that's how I met
cool.
some cool celebrities. And I've
That's
met
very
celebrities
cool.
because I'm obsessed with, like, music and stuff,
Uh,
but that's
awesome.
nothing to do with work.
And tell me out of all of those things, like what stands out for you and what's kind of your favorite moment of being involved with all of those things on
I think being on the Kelly Clarkson show was pretty awesome because, the fact that they saw my video that I made and the fact that it made an impact and, like, it has over 30 million views now, and the fact that they wanted us to be on the show and, like, talk about the power of autism employment was pretty cool to help get Spectrum Designs out there because there's not that many companies like Spectrum, and it's just
Mm,
like if more companies were like Spectrum, it'd be awesome. They just give people a chance that don't normally get one, and, so that was cool that
yeah,
Kelly Clarkson show wanted to highlight us, and, I hope it just leads to bigger and better things this year.
yeah, that's cool. And you were recently named Young Professional Visionary. What tell me more about the recognition and what did that mean to you?
So, like, Four Leaf is like a credit union, but they sponsored this thing, an event for a woman in business, and then they had a category called the Young Professional Visionary Award for young professionals. So
Mm,
a few people nominated me, but I was like, whatever. I don't think I'm gonna win. But to be chosen, it made me feel really awesome to know that like I'm making an impact and people can see the power of what I'm doing. And it makes me feel good to be recognized for that and
yeah.
to get an award is
Mm,
pretty awesome. Like I would have
yeah.
never thought that when I was in high school, I was shy and quiet and didn't wanna, like, speak in front of my class. The fact that I'm able to be on stage and getting out awards or and stuff is awesome.
Yeah, that's so, yeah, it, warms my heart to hear.
That's
So, like, there's a lot of people who say, yeah, social media isn't great, but, clearly, for you, it's, created a lot of opportunity. Wh
yeah.
what what role do you think it's had in you being able to tell your story or be confident enough to tell your story?
I think social media is great because there's so many different types of people, and uh, social media is great because you can make all different types of videos and content. And I
Mm,
think people love seeing people, like, succeed, and I think our social media does so well is because we just show our employees being themselves, and then are or highlighting the things of autism that people don't understand and the stereotypes. So I think people love that we're just being honest, and some times our posts are not as much sugar coated as others, and I think that that's good to show, like, the real
mm,
side of, like, how autistic adults feel sometimes, and I don't think everything should be sugar coated, and I think people like that we're just real. A lot of our social media a lot of times is real, and then they, like, show a lot of our videos that do well recently are the ones that our employees are, like, showing what they're having for lunch or what their favorite TV show is, and I think people just love seeing people being real, and a lot of times on social media, you see, like, influencers, like, being fake or they're all, like, looking the
mm.
same, and I think it's refreshing to see people, like, just being themselves and being different, and
Yeah. Yeah. It's so true. I think,
yeah.
it's such a good point, and it was one of my random questions for you is, we were sort of talking just before our event this morning, and, I think sometimes neurodivergent people sort of struggle to be themselves, in the
Yeah.
workplace, or they're struggling to kind of, manage the workplace. And I guess I
Mhm.
wonder, what do you hope for this community? What can they take away having seen your journey from school through now?
I would say to never stop being yourself and never give up on yourself, and let your true individuality shine. If someone doesn't wanna accept you for that or hire you because you didn't make eye contact, then that's their loss, and,
Mm,
there are bigger, better things at you, and I didn't get that one job because I didn't make eye contact, but now I'm running the social media for Spectrum, and we were on the Kelly Clarkson show, so maybe that job wasn't meant to be, but I would say never
yeah.
hide your neurodiversity. If people can't accept it, then they're not worth your time.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for people who maybe in our community looking for work, but they're sort of either worried about finding a job, or maybe they're worried about, the pressures of, finding kind of the work or settling into the job? Like, do you have any advice for people around that?
I would say I think social media is really helpful because nowadays you can, like, research things so well or look up tips, and there's so many different videos, or like you can use AI to help you, like, interview questions. I would just, like, say use the internet to help you, and if you're struggling to get a job, maybe try volunteering somewhere. I know I volunteered a lot. When I was working part-time, and volunteering I volunteered at a nonprofit, which eventually led me to Spectrum. So I would just say, like, volunteering or have hobbies, and you never know. My social media was originally just a hobby, and now I'm doing it for a job, so you never know what kind of job you could have. Maybe you I went to school
Mm.
for culinary, and I love cooking, but
Oh,
that's
wow.
yeah, so but I didn't love working in, like, restaurants or, like, busy kitchens. So just 'cause
Mm.
you go to school for something doesn't mean you have to have the job in that. So,
Yeah. 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 And so you worked in food for a while. I think you mentioned
yeah,
just
I had,
before about,
many jobs, like, part-time, but I it was too stressful, like, working in, like, kitchens and, like, busy environments. So I
yeah,
didn't really love that, so eventually, I
yeah,
worked at, like, yoga studios and retail, and that was, like, more calming, and working retail definitely helped me socially because when you work retail, you're forced to have to socialize with people you wouldn't normally have to, or work the
Yes.
cash register. So I do think that working retail helped me because it forced me to go out of my comfort zone and talk to people I wouldn't normally talk to. So I
Yes.
feel like you have every job you have helps you in some ways.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it does. We've got a question from Dan
Mm,
who says they struggle with employment and how do you manage the burnout? It's such a great question because many of our community
yeah.
struggle with that sort of showing up and masking sometimes in the workplace as well.
Yeah, that is a great question, and it is hard to, like, struggle with burnout. I'm thankful the company I work at, like, everyone is able to be them true selves, and they're very, like, compassionate, and, like, if I'm ever struggling with something, I could talk to our licensed social worker, chief of staff, and
Mhm.
mention when I'm struggling, but I would just, like, be honest, like, maybe say you need more breaks and stuff, or if you need to take the day off, I would take the day off. I'm very passionate about fitness, so, like, I find when I work out in the morning before work, it helps me, like, feel better throughout the day. Um,
Yeah.
so I would say, like, I like working out, so I do that every morning before work, and it just helps me have a better day, and then sometimes, like, fidget toys might help some people, and if you're comfortable explaining to your coworkers or your employer that you are neurodivergent, maybe it would help them understand you more.
Yeah. Yeah. I think burnout is such a complex
Oh,
issue.
yeah. That's another thing for me is I run the social media, so I always want to do well. So, like, even if I'm off the clock, sometimes I want to keep checking it. So sometimes I just try to like turn the notification off and not check it. But it's hard sometimes when it's something that you're always thinking of and you always want to do it. Like,
Yeah, I think it's a challenge for our community. Sometimes we hyper focus on our work because it is a hyper focus and,
yeah, and
like
you want to do
me with
well.
Caboose and you want to keep doing it.
Yeah, you want every post to do well. So it's hard to not be obsessed with work but I feel like
Mm,
you do need to take time for yourself.
yeah. Yeah. I think it is tricky definitely to sort of keep employment. But one of the things I know is really important is finding the right place, as Kelly says,
Yes,
finding the
exactly.
place, where you can disclose your diagnosis, where you can get the right support or you can work flexibly. Sometimes people need to
Yeah, if
work
you can
different
have, like,
hours.
hybrid schedule or something. But, yeah, I think it's, like, finding the best work environment from you is the best. Cause like, when I worked retail, I only worked part-time, but it was very draining because 'cause you're, like, dealing with people socially all the time. So, my job is good because I do have an office, but I do get to walk around and talk to people. So, like, sometimes when I get home, I'm, like my mom will ask me, like, questions 'cause, and then I'm just, like, annoyed because I'm just, like, so exhausted from talking to people all day, and I'm like,
Mm,
"Mom, it's not you, I just need to relax."
yeah. Yeah. I think it doesn't change, whether you're at school or
Yeah,
later in
exactly,
life,
it's the same
if
thing,
you
yeah.
Yeah, if you've had a big day, it's been overwhelming. Even when you're not really necessarily masking, still the sensory
Yeah, just
overload
talking
of
to people all
being,
day, yeah.
yeah, you need to kind of, yeah, go into a cocoon a bit. So,
Yeah.
when you look back now, what do you wish schools or colleges, families, or even employers better understood about neurodivergent employees? What do you think's made the difference, maybe at Spectrum even?
I would say employer just need to be more understanding, just like that job interview where we didn't make eye contact. I knew everything about the company and I would have been a great employee, that you shouldn't just deny someone because of something like eye contact because you never know what someone's going through. And what Spectrum does well is like when they're scheduling an interview, they ask you if you need any accommodations. Like they're very understanding. And so I think you should just be more, employers should just be more understanding and open to people that might not be neurotypical. And don't judge a book by its cover, like, just because I didn't make eye contact doesn't mean I wouldn't have been good employee. That's, like, one part of the deal. So I think you just need to be more understanding for employees that are on the job interview.
Yeah. Absolutely. And when you think about school, like, are there things you wish the school or the college would have done differently for you back then?
I think my school was pretty great. I wasn't in like a special education program or anything. And I think my school is pretty good. But yeah, I think school just needs to be more understanding and I think it's good that I wasn't in like a special ed. Well, my school didn't really have special ed because I went to a private school. But yeah, I think it's good that people are with different people of all abilities, not just in a special ed class, because then it gets helps them, I feel like, grow.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's see. Are there any more questions in the chat? Feel free to drop your questions into the chat so we can get to those towards the end.
Mhm.
Tell us probably more light-hearted questions. What do you what's the or who is the most fun celebrity you've met so far?
Well, one of my favorite singers is Louis Capaldi, and
Okay.
he was going to be on Good Morning America, so I wanted to go try to meet him because or get in the show. So
Oh,
me and
yeah.
my mom went, to the city, and then we got to meet him, and he was just so fun, and I think he's a great singer, but he's also super funny, so he was pretty fun,
Yeah.
but that I didn't meet him because of Spectrum, but he is
Yeah,
awesome.
okay. Yeah. Do you get many celebrities coming to the workplace?
No, we haven't really had many celebrities come into the workplace, but hopefully
Yeah.
someday soon. We've had,
Yeah.
like, a bunch of, like, NFL players or ex-NFL players come. But,
Yeah.
no one like Tom Brady yet, so you
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah. Yeah. We have another question in the chat.
Mhm.
Do you feel pressure now to make all the social media go viral? And how
Yeah,
do you
that's one
deal with
thing.
expectations?
Yeah, that's trust me, that's one thing I'm obsessed about with, like, I look at the videos and I, like, wonder why I didn't do well or why I only had this many views. So, yeah, it's kinda hard because I always wanna do things better than the past, so it's hard to like, we've had a few videos get, like, over 1,000,000 views and stuff, but,
Mm,
like, it's like you always wanna do the next viral video, so I'm always trying different things, seeing if I need to do less hashtags, more hashtags, trying different trends. And yeah, it's always something I always wanna do more. That's why I'm obsessively on our Instagram responding to things, like, because 'cause I'm always wanting to go viral, and it's like that's the
yeah.
hard thing about social media is not something you could do right or wrong. Like, when you're printing a T-shirt, there's one way to print it, but when you're doing social media, you don't there's always changes with the algorithm. So that's another thing that's kind of stressful with social media because you never know, and, like, you could make a video and you think it's gonna do so well, and it doesn't do that well, and it's kind of, like, upsetting. So, yeah, that's the
No,
tough part about social media is there's not, like, one right or wrong way to do things. So,
no.
like
And yeah, and I think it's harder to deal with the expectations of yourself and, maybe the
oh, yeah, and
workplace.
you always wanna do better, and, like, you always wanna gain more followers and, like, get all the
Mm,
comments and stuff, so, yeah,
yeah,
that's definitely hard, especially, like,
yeah,
I'm always not confident in myself, so then I want the social media to do well, so, like, sometimes it's, like, upsetting and you get, like, down on
yeah,
yourself, but you
yes,
never know, it's the internet, like, you never know what to expect with the algorithms and stuff.
yeah. We have a comment from Abby, the pressure of being a voice for the entire neurodivergent community on social media because you have the skills probably makes it harder to take the breaks.
Yeah, and then sometimes, like, most of our videos don't get negative comments, but then some of them do, so it's kinda hard, and then,
Yeah.
it's hard
Yeah.
to there's only one post I had to, turn off the comments because people were just, like, taking away from what the post was actually about, and it was just
Yeah,
like,
right.
this
Yeah.
I was congratulating someone for getting an award, and then people just have to turn things into negativity sometimes. But yeah, so
Yeah.
most of the comments on our posts are lovely, but, like, that viral video, obviously, since there was so many eyes on it, there were some negative comments and, like, it's just
Yeah.
crazy the things that people have the nerve to say on, like, the internet.
Yes. Yeah. I think it's hard and maybe harder for neurodivergent people with social media because I know even in the early days of Caboose, we're posting and not getting
Mhm.
enough likes or not getting enough reshares or enough comments.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's like this rejection
Oh,
sensitivity
yeah, yeah, it
kicks
makes
in,
you feel
right?
like a failure, especially if a post doesn't
Yeah.
do well, it makes you feel like a failure.
Yeah.
Even if the
Yeah.
video was great, you're just like, "Why did this one do well and that one didn't?" Yeah.
Yeah. But it's the mystery of the algorithm.
Oh, yeah, exactly, you never know, it's like
Yeah.
and they're always telling you to do different things, and it's, like, hard to keep up with sometimes.
Yes, yeah. We had one video on TikTok, like maybe it was a year ago, go viral because it was actually about stimming, but the music, like listening
Mhm.
to a soundtrack, and so it went viral, and it's like, oh well, let's recreate something like this, but
Oh, I know.
like it's a mystery.
I know, sometimes I try to create something, like, I tried to recreate the viral video, like, but do it differently, and, like, it didn't do as well as I expected, and, like, you just don't know why sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. How did the other people? Rox is asking, how did the other employees feel about that video going viral? Because I know there were other people in there. Did they feel
Oh, the in that
good?
I wasn't even in the viral video, but I don't even there's probably, like, 15 people in that video at least,
Yeah,
but everyone
yeah.
was super excited, and it was just funny seeing in the comments, and, like, everyone fell in love with, like, the one employee, Jason, because he had, like, a small line, but everyone just saw his energy and enthusiasm, and then, like, everyone became a huge fan of Jason, and then it was funny seeing the comments, like, people, like, fell in love with certain employees, and it's just from, like,
Mm,
just saying 2 words, it's, like, crazy how much personality people got to see, and they loved it, and our employees were so excited seeing it go viral, and then I remember we were excited when we had, like, 11 million views, and we got balloons, and we had a cake, and then now it's, like, at 30 million views, and then
I
when
think
we were on
we've
the Kelly
lost
Clarkson show, we did a
connection. What a great story, though. Every time I talk to Kelly, I'm just in awe of her story and her resilience to keep searching for the right job and the right environment to be successful. And I think at the end of the day, that's what it often is about, is finding the right employer. I'm not sure whether Kelly is coming back or not, but I might do a bit of a wrap up so that if she's back,
yeah, I don't know what
uh,
happened, it
you're
seemed
back.
like it was still
Oh, good.
going, and then it said it was disconnected, so sorry.
That's all right. I did a little chat about how
Yeah,
amazing you are
I
and your
heard everything you
story.
were saying.
Good. Okay, good. Okay, awesome. Well, Dan is asking about the company. So Kelly works for Spectrum Designs in the US. They also have Spectrum Suds, which is the laundry arm, which I didn't realize because we've just been talking to Spectrum Designs. But yes, you can Google them, and there's a website. There's obviously lots of social media pages, TikTok
Yeah, follow
and
us on social
Instagram.
media. Yeah, so Spectrum Suds is only a local laundry service, so it's a free pickup and delivery in the 5-mile radius of the town that we're in, and it's a wash and fold laundry service. So we do have social media for Spectrum Suds, and I do run it, but it's not as big as Designs because I feel like it's not as like you can't buy things and ship it a different state or a different country. You can't get custom apparel made. It's a laundry service, but it is a great company because they employ autistic adults too. But Spectrum
Yeah,
Designs, you can order from anywhere in the nation, and we'll ship it. And
yeah.
we get do custom apparel and postal products. It might be more expensive shipping it to Australia, but we can do it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Caboose has community members all over the world. We're in
So that's awesome.
130 countries, so uh, about half of our audience is actually in the US. So hopefully, a few
So
people
yeah,
are listening.
if
Yeah,
anyone needs custom apparel or promotional products, we can do it, and we
awesome.
would love to.
Yeah, and are Spectrum Designs hiring at the moment? Are there any jobs for the community out there?
I do not think we are hiring at the moment, but if you go to spectrumdesigns.com.org, I mean, section9s.org, there's an employment section. So if there are any openings, there will be there, or you can submit your cover letter and resume. I know right now we don't have any remote jobs, but maybe in the future they will have some. So definitely
Yeah.
recommend sending your resume and cover letter in case we are hiring, or like they have an opening. They'll look at the people that sent a resume before they post the job listing. So that would
Yeah.
definitely be helpful.
Awesome. And for any community members who are local, then yeah, feel free to jump on and register. Abby says the PPA article was great.
Oh yeah, so the promotional products, I forget promotional products, and I forget what it stands for, but they are big in the promotional products industry. And they did a big article about us in their magazine, and we were the cover of the magazine a few months ago. So yeah, that was a great article.
Yeah, awesome. Very good. Um, okay, there you go. Promotional Products Association International. It's a mouthful, isn't
Thank you.
it?
I knew it was something.
Any last minute questions for Kelly? Otherwise, I'm going to ask her one sneaky fun one at the end, and we'll let Kelly get to her evening because it is getting late in the US. So, if you could collaborate with any celebrity on social media, who would you choose and why?
Well, I've met Adam Sandler because I introduced him on stage, but I feel like he's fun and everyone loves him. So it would be fun to do a social media post with him. So
Yeah,
that would
yeah,
be awesome
absolutely.
because I feel like Adam Sandler is someone like everyone loves, and like he doesn't cause drama and he's funny. So I feel like he would make people laugh. So
Yeah.
definitely
Oh,
him.
that would be cool. I
Yeah.
wonder if there's a chance, we'll have to keep a
You never
lookout
know,
on your
maybe I'll be
socials.
able to meet him again, and then that would be awesome. So Adam
Yeah.
Sandler, if you're watching this, let's do
Yes.
a video.
Get on board. Get on board. I'm sure someone could tag him in
Oh,
our
yeah,
video.
tag him.
Yeah. We'll get Rox to clip that bit out and tag him. Well, if there are no last minute questions, I would like to thank you very much for taking the time to talk with us and share your story. It's these stories that really help our community and give inspiration to others who are looking to enter the workforce or to find a company that is neuro-affirming and supportive. So thank you very much. And just a reminder, we have other discussions, divergent discussions coming up. We're talking shortly to my favourite Joe. Carla will be hosting that one. And then we are going to be talking with Carla, our resident psychologist, about ableism. It's a topic we get asked about quite a lot. So looking forward to that one. And we also have Ruby Susan coming back. Some of you might remember we spoke with her a little while ago for Neighbour Day celebrations. So they're coming back to talk with us about all things disability, particularly here in Australia. You can get tickets through Humanitix or the app or our website. Plenty of places to find those. And just a reminder for those who couldn't join us, then we'll be sending um, out the replay. And I think Abby has asked, do you have a TikTok? I believe you do have TikTok for
Yeah,
Spectrum.
Spectrum Designs has a TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. We have
Yeah.
an X or Twitter, but I feel like no one really goes on that much these days.
No, I don't think so. I'm not
And we
seeing as
also have
much
a
activity.
YouTube too, but our best
Yeah.
platform is definitely Instagram and Facebook.
All right. Okay. That's interesting. I think it's hard to read the
Yeah, you
algorithms,
never
that's for
know.
sure.
Like one of the videos I did, was it last month or the month before? Like it was like a viral trend I saw on like TikTok or Instagram, and then I posted it on all platforms, and then it ended up going viral on Facebook. And then it didn't really do as well on the other platforms. It got like 2 million views on Facebook. So you never know what to expect, honestly.
Keep going is the
Yeah,
motto.
I know. That's why. And then, yeah,
Keep swimming. Keep swimming.
yeah.
Well, thank you again. And thank you for everyone who's joined us live and to those who will watch the replay.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great.